I watched a movie which I never heard of before. Indeed, it is obscure, old, and yet obscure. And yet, I did find it funny. It began a bit shakily, but you know, I think this proves generally that I seem to like parodies because I almost like every parody that I watched, almost being the keyword. I mean, Shaun of the Dead is a parody as well. It just didn't quite parody the. I mean, when it comes to zombies, it was literal with a lot of gore. So I didn't like that so much because I don't like. But when it comes to this movie which parodies period dramas, you know. Period dramas can be interesting to write for other reasons, not comedy generally. But this movie, being comedy, I think works really well. I don't know why there was that little bit at the beginning. It's the only thing that really is idiotic. And also, Ustunov's character. Uh, I mean, he's supposed to be a parody of such characters, but he doesn't quite. I mean, okay, he does have some of the top scenes, like the bath scene and such, but he still isn't quite parody. I mean, obviously, when it comes to satire, it needs to go beyond simply stating something, right? I mean, if something is just restated, it's not satire. It just is. That's clear. And he does do a bit of parody, but mostly he doesn't. I mean, okay, being a judge, having a meal, that's a parody with regards to the meal. But when he was talking at the beginning, his introduction, in other words, not quite a parody. It's more of a yeah, raw sort of unfiltered. And so there were those slight bits, but otherwise, I mean, as comedy, it works really well. I think, really, despite being obscure, I mean, it's really much better than most. I'm not sure one can label this as a rom-com. I mean, there is a romantic, but it's mainly a comedy. So, and this is what's good, really, and this is what one hopes for in most comedies, even rom-coms, that somehow they focus on the comedy. Not, I mean, rom-coms can never be romantic anyway, because they're just comedies. They should be comedies fundamentally, and if we have absurd things happening for the sake of comedy, it just isn't romantic. So I don't know why they think that they can be. But anyway, this wasn't. This clearly was satire, even when it tries to be romantic. It's not really. It's what it is like even up to the very end, where she somehow gave birth in the church, even up to the very last second. The baby has a silver spoon. I love these metaphor literal sort of things. Metaphors that just transcend reality. Born with a silver spoon and everything. I think it's a good satire of society, really. Um, One that I'm assuming many people do not think have even seen, really. I mean, it's quite obscure, so I'm assuming that is true. But even if there is, some people see it. It isn't quite, satire sometimes when it comes to reality. But with this movie, there is. At least this movie exists, right? I don't know who this director was, though. He really is new on me. So this is I think my first movie for this. And yeah, I mean, I don't even know any of the actors. but I found it quite, besides the beginning and Ustonov's character a bit, but he doesn't feature until the last half hour. I found it really funny. I don't normally laugh at in many comedies. Usually it's sort of like an undercurrent of humor that isn't quite explicitly funny, but this was in many instances. Like when they were trying to communicate in Latin. That's in such situations. It's sort of classic sitcom, really. Yeah, that and yeah, there were several other things. Obviously, when he's trying to do hieroglyphics, they do it a bit too much, but ultimately doesn't seem too much, and it doesn't seem over the top. So I thought it was fine. Yeah, cinematographically, obviously, it's quite nice to look at everything, but mainly it's a comedy that really works well, I think. And as a parody, I don't know if it's just because I generally like parodies, but I did like this. I do seem to like parodies generally, but I like this anyway. And yeah, unfortunate for Ustinov's character, though. I have seen other movies of his, not a lot, but I think he was in maybe on the Orient Express. I'm not sure. He was at least in a yeah, that I watched in a Hercule Poirot movie, I think. Just don't quite remember though which. But other than him, I really don't quite know many any other actors. Really, I really don't. Um, yeah, but I think it works quite well. All the comedy scenes, all the characters are quite funny. Apart from Eric, Brian Glover's character, he's not really funny. He's another one, but it doesn't feature very much at all, so didn't mind him that much. But I don't know why. He just has to insist that his son is scum. It's not really very funny. I found the American couple funny, though, as a parody themselves. Ultimately everyone is a parody, so yeah. Ustinov was an Evil Under the Sun, which I believe I also commented on, and what? I've watched something here I don't remember at all. One of our dinosaurs is missing. I vaguely remember it, but not quite. Yeah, I must have watched it many years ago. I seem to have liked it, possibly a bit above average, but not quite. Don't quite remember it. Apparently, it's even older than Evil Under the Sun. Even older. And I've watched him in quite a few. Yeah, I had no idea. No, he's an old actor. Apparently, he's in the Magic Box as well. About the early pioneering of cinema. A very old movie, but yeah, quite a lot of actors. Yeah, and in fact, he doesn't even feature here until later. So can't quite really have recognized him at all. But yeah, apparently he's in it as an industry man. Clearly, sort of an extra. He, yeah, he died 54 years later after the Magic Box. So, quite a career after his industry man character. And I've also watched at some point in distant past a movie called Odette, but of course he wasn't quite central character at all. He was apparently Alex Rabinovich or Arnold. Hmm. Not a comedy though. I don't even remember the poster. Anyway, yeah. So that's I watched him before, but not quite. He does. His, documentary was his first actually. He does have quite a long list. Of course, he is quite a prolific actor. He acted up until the year before he died. He, he has a total of 100 credits. Hmm, exactly 100 for acting specifically. Apparently, he wrote some things as well. But I haven't seen anything here. So yeah, that's the only actor I know pretty much. Other than that, though, yeah, as I said, I think the comedy worked well, mainly, mostly, it is. So yeah, I'm not sure why it's not more well known as a comedy because it's. I've seen the importance of being earnest before, so I sort of know the. But it is sort of a comedy as well. It's just not quite a parody of the genre. It is in a way part of the genre itself, but it is also somewhat comedic, just different type of comedy. Hmm. I did apparently watch Samuel West once before. I'm not sure why he seemed familiar, but I don't think I must have seen it. I'm not sure. He apparently I watched him once in Van Helsing, but I've watched Van Helsing long ago, and I don't think. I'm assuming he had makeup on. Not a lot, but can't possibly have remembered him from Van Helsing, though. I don't even remember Frankenstein in Van Helsing. Strange. I did like Van Helsing generally, though. I do remember an ego, but not Victor Frankenstein. No, of course, well, there's an ego, of course, there was one. Not quite the most prominent, though, obviously. It's more about vampires and vampire hunters. I don't think Frankenstein's monster was a vampire, so I really don't know why he seemed familiar, though. I haven't seen any other movies of his at all. Strange. Anyway, yeah, as a movie, though, it works. It works. There is stiff upper lip specifically. Yeah, works.